Louise.
Hi.
So thank you for this interview about the Systems Thinking Summit. What are you most looking forward to about the summit?
I'm really looking forward to meeting some old friends, people that I've met before, and meeting some new people that I haven't met, and finding out what they've got to say and what their take on systems thinking is.
Okay, thank you. And I understand that one of the speakers is coming all the way from LA.
Yeah, that's Bill Bellows, who I've met once before, and I believe you know quite well. Found Bill really exciting and really challenging last time I met him. I heard him speak at Net2, and he asked a lot of questions that made me change the way I think without me even knowing how he changed it, which was really challenging for me, but made some fundamental shift changes.
Okay, thank you. And I understand that Dave Snowden, who's coming, can be quite a challenging speaker. Tell me a little more about him.
Yeah, Dave I haven't met yet, but I have seen quite a lot of his YouTube videos and heard quite a lot about him from other people. What I've liked about the videos that I've seen is, although his thinking is very challenging and quite complex at times, he's very good at coming up with simple illustrations of how you can apply that in the real world. So I saw one about a children's party and another one related to a film where he was taking examples from everyday life to help you understand very complex methods and thought.
Okay. And so you haven't met Dave yet, but I know that we've got a couple of other Daves coming. This is like the conference of Daves and the bank of Daves.
It is a bit, if in doubt, call me Dave, isn't it?
It is.
So yeah, Dave Gaster and Dave Kerr. Dave Gaster does a lot around how you analyse data to really understand what the underlying causes and trends are with things. And how you present that so that people can understand what the data is in a very simple way. And he's written a couple of really interesting books on that. And Dave Kerr, Dave doesn't say very much, so when he does say things, you really listen to what he's got to say. He's one of those quiet people that, when he says something, it really means something. So very interested to hear what those two have got to say. Today's going to be talking about soft systems with Jeff Hunt, who's another one of the ones I haven't met but have heard a lot about and read some of his stuff. So the combination of old and new will be really interesting on stage there.
Excellent. And I'm really excited because a friend of mine, a mentor for over a decade, Julian Simcox, is going to be coming and talking. And I think he has a sort of maths and statistics background too.
Yeah, from what I understand about Julian, it's if you're scared of maths, Julian makes it really understandable for you. So although maths at school was a strong point for me, it's been a long time since I've used a lot in that context, so it'd be really helpful to listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Parker talking on social media and systems thinking. As somebody who's quite keen on social media, haven't really applied systems thinking to that yet, so will be really interested to see his thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm. And then Ian Roderick's coming, and he's also leads the Schumacher Institute. So I think he's going to be talking about using systems thinking in projects.
Yes, and projects is my background, so again that'll be really interesting for me. I come from a construction background which is all about projects, so I've very much tried to apply my knowledge of systems thinking in that area, so an expert on that will be fascinating.
Excellent, Lou. So this sounds like there's some really top-notch systems thinkers coming and presenting here. Would this be a place that people could bring their bosses and bring people who are a bit new to systems thinking?
Yes, and before we get to that, we have managed to forget our only female systems thinking presenter, which is you, Emma. You managed to leave yourself out of the interview.
Well, I'm quite sneaky like that, yeah.
So yeah, for those of you that don't know Emma, I've worked with Emma for a long time, and she's getting very embarrassed off camera, but she's really, really worth listening to, and brings a very different approach, very practical, and very inspiring, really. So yeah, Emma's worth listening to as well. Now, what was the question you were asking me before you got embarrassed?
Thank you, Lou. I was asking you about whether people should bring their bosses and whether this was useful for beginners in systems thinking as well as people who've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, well, I'd certainly consider myself on the beginner's end of the spectrum on systems thinking, which is why I'm really looking forward to all these web chats as well, so that I'll catch up a little bit more before the day.
Super.
So for beginners, yeah, do listen to the videos, but do come along. There will be some beginners streams as well as some more complex streams where we split out into more than one workshop. And for senior people, in terms of how you can apply this thinking to whole organisations and organisational strategy, be really worthwhile. So yeah, range of people coming.
Excellent, excellent. And you mentioned the videos, so they're going to be web chats, are there, with the different speakers?
Yeah, I'm going to be introducing most of the speakers on the day, and as a beginner to systems thinking and not having met all of the people, I would naturally have a conversation with them beforehand anyway. So it just seemed logical to record those conversations so that you can find out and be prepared before as well, find out what they're talking about, what their interest in systems thinking is, and we'll also be asking them your questions. So there's a box on the website under pre-conference websites where you can fill in your questions that you would like us to ask each of the speakers.
Okay, great. So people need to get onto the www.systemsthinkingsummit.com website,
Yeah.
go onto the pre-conference web chat page, fill in the form, and then they can submit questions and get told about the videos
Yeah.
as they come up.
So there's a questions form,
Fab.
and there's also somewhere that you can put your name and address so that we'll email you when each
Oh,
video
brilliant.
comes through.
Brilliant, fantastic. Thanks very much, Lou, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in October, and I think this should be good fun.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thanks, Emma.
Bye now. Bye.